Today, we're going to talk about 10 things that people usually get wrong about Polish women. Boom! Boom! Cześć ludzie! What's up, people? Hola, JT here. Welcome to another episode. You want to know what is one of the most searched terms related to Poland? Polish women or Polish girls, you name it. It's everywhere. We're going to see how many million hits this term has. And there's a reason for that. Polish women are obviously physically attractive, but also they have a reputation for being strong, but also being resourceful. Polish women might be a complete enigma to some people, kind of like a code that needs to be cracked. So today I want to bring you 10 things that usually, in my opinion, people get wrong about Polish women. One little disclaimer before we get deep into the topic. I am going to be making some generalizations. You need to know that some of the things that I'm going to mention don't apply to you or your girlfriend or your wife or your sister. Many of these things are just observations that I have, pattern recognition, and maybe potentially some Polish women, or hopefully a lot, will identify with many of these things. But that still does not mean that I'm trying to imply that all Polish women are the same. But I happen to think that there are a lot more similarities among them than there are differences. Having that clear and out of the way, let's get deep into the subject matter. The first thing that people usually get wrong about Polish women is that they are cold. Slavic people are not the most joyful of people. They're not the most expressive people. And I think it's a big culture shock whenever foreigners come to Poland. And I think this applies to many other Slavic countries. The memes are out there on the internet about Slavic people, the Slavic face, the Polish smile. And I think the Polish women are no exception to that. But there are levels to this game. Polish women are literally, I don't want to compare them to onions because that would be, it's like a bad pun about, Poles and potatoes and bulachki cebulachki. I should stop these jokes. They're really going to go on me on the comment section. Polish women are raised under a completely different social code. In Poland, they don't overshare. In the Polish rule of conduct, this is not seen very well. If you go around smiling to strangers, you are labeled as a doofus. So it's fairly understandable that Polish women are not going to be sharing smiles left and right. They're not going to be talking to strangers that they don't know just because they are on a line at the supermarket. Now, I will tell you that I have been very pleasantly surprised because I encounter more and more people here, specifically women, that are a lot more easygoing, communicative, social even. I don't know if this is me becoming a little bit more Polish or they are actually getting more social. Polish women don't perform emotions they are not feeling. If they're not happy, they're not going to be showing happiness. But outsiders can interpret this as just cold behavior. But it's not really cold behavior, it's sincerity. If they don't feel something, they don't need to fake it. There is no forced cheerfulness. There's no exaggerated friendliness. When a Polish woman smiles at you and she trusts you and she opens up emotionally to you, it's a genuine feeling. It's something that has weight and it carries an emotional significance. It is very, very real. Quickly, before we continue, let's admire this beautiful place that I'm in today. I have to give a special thank you to the director, Pani Dyrektor, bardzo dziękujemy. She was so kind, so welcoming, and she told me, of course you can film, just make sure that you show the beauty of our botanical gardens. Come here. The light show, now in Christmas, is spectacular. The second thing that people get wrong about Polish women is their love language. It's not touchy-feely. It's service-oriented. This one is actually huge because in Poland, you don't see Polish women doing a lot of public displays of affection. Cuddling and hand-holding and the hugging and all those things here are not that common. You might see the occasional couple, of course, holding hands. It's not like they're dead fish or anything, but it's not like you might see in other cultures that people are a little bit warmer, a little bit more touchy-feely, more grabby. But what you will notice, though, is how much they show their love and affection by doing beautiful acts of service. As a guy that has been in a relationship with a Polish woman for 15 years and that has other friends, foreigners, with Polish women, This is something we talk about. How much they care for your well-being. They even take the vitamins out and they put it in little, piles so that you remember that you need to take them. If you like a certain food or a dish, they will cook them for you. These acts of service are a cultural love language to them. They basically are sending a message that I notice your needs, even if you don't mention them. It's subtle, it's practical, and it's extremely thoughtful. The third thing is that Polish women are not materialistic. They are actually extremely practical. There is this very wrong idea that Polish women are interested in fancy things. They want gifts, they want flowers, they want you to buy them expensive dinners in fancy restaurants, but this could not be further from the truth. Obviously, everyone wants to be treated to a nice meal. Everyone wants to, every so often, receive a nice gift. But that is not what is at the front and center of what Polish women want. You don't impress Polish women with money. You impress them with being responsible, not being chaotic, planning ahead, taking care of responsibilities, being reliable. You can buy them a fancy gift, and you know what you're gonna get? Dziękuję. But you solve a problem that they have, and that is where real respect begins. Polish women admire competence way more than extravagance. Number 4, they don't want a provider. They want a dependable partner. Some foreigners think that Polish women are traditional. And by traditional, they mean that they want a provider. They want a man that will handle everything, take care of them, so that they can sit and just, be a nice stay-at-home partner. But that could not be further from the truth. Polish women work, they earn money, they are entrepreneurial, they are full of ideas, they are competent, they go out and they get what they want. They fix things, sometimes better than you can. They are extremely capable and self-sufficient. What they want from a man is a partner, not patriarchal responsibility. They want someone that shows up, that communicates, that participates, that takes initiative, that helps her build her dreams, that allows her to help him build his dream. They want a man that stands besides them, not above them. They want teamwork, not someone to replace their independence. Number 5, they seem tough, but that toughness comes from skill, not from attitude. Polish women often seem strong, emotionally guarded, serious, but this is just an interpretation of resilience, not an interpretation of them giving you attitude or just being simply difficult. I mean, yes, there are difficult people everywhere, but if you go deep inside and we psychoanalyze what is happening, this is nothing but resilience. In this culture, you handle things yourself. Humility is admired. And most importantly, emotional expression is private. It's not for the public to see. So on the surface, Polish women seem controlled, reserved. But the truth is that Polish women have a calm strength built from competence. When things go wrong, they adapt. They don't overpanic. But if you're in a relationship with a Polish woman, or if you've been with one, you're gonna tell me, dude, what are you talking about? They are not calm sometimes. They yell or they panic. You know what? That is true. But when shit really hits the fan, they are centered, focused, and most importantly, they do whatever it needs to be done. They're warriors. Number 6, Polish women's high standards are not about perfection. They are about consistency. I do believe that in Polish culture, perfection is a thing. They tend to be quite perfectionists. But among foreigners, there's this saying that, yeah, you can never please a Polish woman. They want to do everything perfect, perfect, perfect. But I'm going to refute that. I'm going to push back on that idea. They want loyalty. They want steadiness. They want you to keep your word. They want to know that if you said you're going to do something, that you're going to do it. They need to know that they can depend on you. They need to know that you're going to show up and that you're not just giving empty promises. They hate empty promises, words that carry no weight. This is extremely important in a relationship with a Polish woman. They are raised, and I have to throw flowers to Polish men in that regard, because usually Polish men are very resourceful, and something happens, I don't know, around the house, and they go and they fix it. And I think that they grow up with this. They see their parents, their moms also being consistent. So whenever they go and pick up a partner, it's very important that they feel that they can depend on you, that it's not about doing something perfectly. Really, it doesn't have to be perfect. Maybe if they did it themselves, they're going to try to do it as perfectly as they can, but they don't request of you to do it, like a professional would. No, but they want to know that if you said that you were going to, then you do. They don't want a perfect person. They want a predictable person. They want somebody that is going to show up the same way on Monday as they showed up on Friday. They want a person to be consistent. This one is big because it oftentimes misses the spot, like it's misunderstood. People don't associate Polish women with the fact that they are actually extremely funny. They just have a different type of humor. They have a more dry humor, sarcastic. It's self-deprecating, it's situational, it's observational. If you really want to have fun, you have to hang out with a Polish woman, or several Polish women. Just hang out and live with them. You go on holidays with them, and you will realize that they're actually very, very funny. It's also a very intelligent type of humor. They're gonna make comments, like little dicks, usually at each other or at somebody else or at your expense. The thing is that they're not trying to be comedic. It's something that just comes out natural, and it needs to be inside of a context. I think that's the thing with Polish women's humor. It has to have a context that most of the times will surprise you because you were not expecting it. You see how they are. They're not that expressive. They're not that smiley, even, for that matter. But you're there on the couch watching a movie together, and they're gonna say something that usually will be a little bit dark, and you're all both gonna be just laughing because it's just the occurrences and it's so unexpected. I think it's one of the most underappreciated and underrated features and characteristics that Polish women have. Their humor. I love my wife's humor. Literally one of the funniest things, but not in a ha-ha type of fun way. It's more like, what? And then you're laughing for 3 days because of the comment. Number 8 is that Polish women don't simply rush into relationships. That is a deliberate thing. It's a well thought out thing. You're not going to just swipe them off their feet and then all of a sudden they don't know what happened. Here we are in a relationship. No, believe me, if they go into a relationship with you, it's because they have analyzed it very well. They've analyzed you very well. They have taken into consideration different things. Now, maybe you want to say that is a little bit calculated and cold, but it's not from that angle. It's more from the perspective that they have the ability to self-control themselves and not just do what comes off the top of their heart, and there's no brain put into it. There is always brains put into actions when Polish women act. That does not mean that they are sanctimonious. They can, of course, decide if they want to go into a fling with you. They make that decision. It's not because you're such a playboy pickup artist that before she even knew it, she was in my sheets. No, bro, take your passport. Get out of here. That's not how it works here. For them, just chemistry is not enough. There needs to be chemistry plus stability. They come from a culture that did not see a lot of stability for a long time. So for them, feeling stable is extremely important. So next time you think that Polish women are whatever, I've heard everything. I've heard that, Polish women, Eastern Europeans, they're easy. Or, Polish women are really good because, they are women of value. They don't just go around and sleep with everyone. They do what they want when they want because they have thought about it, they've analyzed it, and they've made the decision to do what they want. Number 9, they are way more educated, prepared than many of the stereotypes give them credit for. I honestly don't understand this one. Sometimes I've heard some terrible things being mentioned about Polish women. Oh, you know, Polish women, they have some very good traditional values, of course. Hey, I heard it, they are good cooks. Oh, yeah, they're great with their children. Oh my God. I don't get that at all. First of all, it is true. Many of those things are true, but let me tell you, friends, academically speaking, they are very ahead. Many of them not only have master's degrees, they have doctorate degrees, they speak multiple languages, they travel, they love to learn. One of the things that Polish women do best is constantly trying to improve themselves. They don't want to be left behind. They want to be connected digitally. They want to know what is happening in the world. They are in tune with what is happening around them. And not only in tune, but they want to have knowledge. They understand that knowledge is power. So in my opinion, one of the best features that Polish women have, one of my favorite, is precisely that they love to educate themselves. So yes, they do have good old-fashioned traditional values, but it's also mixed with modern traditions. The last thing is that they don't put up with bullshit. In this part of the world, things don't go around without a scratch or two. People have traumas, some more than others. And I say this with all due respect towards all Polish women watching this video. I don't want to rub salt in their wounds. That's not what I'm doing. But I want to acknowledge the fact that many of them have had a difficult childhood. Some family trauma, some relationship trauma. But they have learned to fight for what they believe in. And they have learned to fight for what they want. They're not going to accept subclass behavior from you or from anyone else. So if you're thinking about maybe potentially trying to meet a nice Polish woman, keep that in mind. There's no time, energy, space for bullshit.